How are we? Good morning everyone. Thank you all very much for joining. It is the Game Week 15 deadline stream and it does not come without its bit of news. As I'm sure some of you will have seen, the Merseyside derby this morning has been postponed. There will be no fixture for Everton and there'll be no fixture for Liverpool. But the deadline has then been announced that it will not change by official FPL. So we are here. Apologies. I was not expecting them not to move the deadline. I have to admit, I thought the deadline would then be moved once I saw it. The game was cancelled. So about 15 minutes ago, I was still sat in my pajamas and hadn't had my shower either. But we are here regardless. There was a bit of a quick turnaround. So if I have to leave the room to go and do anything because I haven't prepped it properly, then I will go and do that. But we are here. We are here. Yes, the Everton-Liverpool game has been postponed. So, just to give you a little update of what that means for your FPL team, you, of course, will get no points from your players who play in that game. The game will not be moved. Well, game almost certainly won't be moved to stay in this weekend. Of course, Liverpool played Champions League on Tuesday night, so there isn't really a time for it to be postponed to. So we do think it will be moved later. There are predictions that it will be game week 19 or game week 25. That will likely give us an extra double game week that we can use chips like our triple captain in or something like that. But you will need to move your captaincy armband off Mo Salah. You will need to, not have too many Liverpool players in there because they will score 0 points, and then Everton players will score 0 as well. The big ones, of course, is the fact that Mykolenko will no longer be able to haunt me. I will no longer have to stare at Mykolenko's 11 points on my bench every week. Mykolenko does not have a fixture. Outside of that, a little-known player called Mohamed Salah does not have a fixture. And then, of course, all the other Liverpool players as well. You took a hit last night to get Trent and Isak. Should I free hit to cancel it? If you've got anyone on your bench covering it, I still don't think this is a good week to play your free hit unless you've got maybe 4 or 5 players from those teams. But even then, I don't think this week is good enough to free hit personally. It does give advantage to people who don't have Salah, of course, because that's a lot of money that I'm going to have to sit on my bench this week. You will also see that I have moved my captaincy armband. It is off of Mo Salah and I've put it on Cole Palmer for the time being. He was the one with the vice captain for me. I think there'll be goals in that Chelsea-Spurs game. It could end up on Bukayo Saka, but I think it will end up on either of them. This will mean, of course, that Semenyo will sub in. My team will look like this. And I plan probably on rolling the transfer now. My original plan was Mbeumo to Rodgers and one of my defenders up to Trent. And that will probably be what I do after the deadline. But I think I'm going to end up rolling the transfer this week. Best Mbeumo replacement, or should I bench for Rodgers? If you've got Rodgers, I'd probably bench for Rodgers. There's a big chance that Rodgers doesn't necessarily start today. They are the... Oh no, I was going to say they are now the earliest kickoff, but the deadline didn't move. So ignore what I'm saying. Ignore what I've just said. Missing out on Rodgers' brace if he starts the game. If he starts, it's Endo a pick. Looking for a 5.8 mid to fund Isak. I probably would go Iwobi if I was looking for a midfielder at that price. I'm just not sure the positioning of Enzo will stick that consistently that you'll know you want to play him and when. Is Gabriel playing? We don't know. I'm going to have just Greaves as bench cover for Gabriel now, but there's not much I'm really planning on doing about that. I could do let me do a captaincy poll. 3,000 of you in and watching already. Chaos. If you haven't already, my deadline counter is wrong. It's not. The deadline has not been moved. Official FPL tweeted the Game Week 15 deadline will remain at 11 GMT. The deadline does not move. So the deadline is in an hour and 50 minutes or so. Let's do a captaincy poll. See where people are. I might put one on Twitter as well, and we can have a look at the results. Captaincy poll. Would I think of Cunha to Isak? I probably wouldn't do that, no. We can do a free hit draft, but I don't think I'll be playing it this week. Palmer. Palmer, Saka, Haaland, other. Let me just go and post one on Twitter as well, just so we can see what everyone's doing. Game week 15 captaincy poll. Palmer, Saka, Haaland, and other. I think mine will be on Palmer. I was talking this during the week. I definitely said it in my videos this week that I wondered about Cole Palmer captaincy, even with Salah having his game. So, yeah, that is what it is. It makes me feel, a little bit rewarded that I didn't make the transfer last night, given that Trent Alexander-Arnold did go up in price. But, I mean, I would have just played Greaves anyway. Oh, start bench graphic is working. We just don't have anyone in it at the moment. Again, I wasn't expecting this stream quite at this time. So we haven't filled it all in. If you have players you want me to add into the start benching graphic, do let me know. Yes, Liverpool game has been postponed. Let me keep putting it back up on screen. Today's Merseyside derby at Goodison Park has been postponed due to adverse weather conditions. Game week 15 deadline will remain at 11 a.m. It is, of course, good news for those of us who... It is, of course, good news for us who saved our triple captain, because it will likely give an additional double game week. And I did say I'm going to not use my triple captain earlier on in the season and hope it snows. This is not quite what I had in mind, but it has caused postponements. I'm getting a lot of questions about, will it cause other postponements this weekend? I don't think so, but there are a couple of other games. Villa Southampton is in the Midlands where the weather's not great, and United is north, but it's too far north and it's meant to be okay by that time. So there aren't really any games that we're expecting, but if there is any changes, there of course could be. Any news on the deadline? Yes, the deadline is not moving. It will remain at 10 o'clock. The weather in Manchester's fine. That's good for now. Having a look at the captaincy poll that you've posted and then on Twitter as well, it does favour a Palmer captaincy. Saka is still getting quite a bit of love in. Haaland with a little bit, and then other with just a little bit as well. So yes, that is where we're at. Sorry, 11 o'clock. 11. The usual time. The deadline has not moved. Weather in the Midlands is horrific. You see, you're not the first one to say that. The weather in the Midlands is horrible, but it needs to be more than just horrible. It needs to be more than just horrible. You can have a look at Aston Villa Stadium Met Office. Aston Villa's wind is expected to hit 60 miles an hour about game time. So it depends how they think about that. One sec. Expecting. But I don't see anyone talking about that fixture. Which is interesting because the conditions don't feel like... Isn't Liverpool more north than Manchester? Which way around is it? I never remember. Why not Saka? I just think there's going to be goals in that Chelsea game. I think Fulham were very good midweek against Brighton. I think Fulham are better defensively than Spurs are. Is live FPL now the best price predictor? Yes. For anyone not certain about what price predictor to use, I would almost certainly be using livefpl.net now. They are the only site that predicted Trent to rise in price last night. And I know some of you asked me, I said in my video yesterday that Trent is predicted to rise in price. And I had loads of people messaging me saying, no, they're not. No, he's not. Like none of the other sites predicted him to. Live FPL, which I'm putting in the chat now. is the best of all the predictions sites. So I would be using that. What happens to Salah's FPL points? He'll get a blank game week. I am going to start him though, just, you know, in the very, very small situation that it... Yeah, I'm just going to start him. A nice auto sub points. I could even start Mikalenko as well, but I'm not going to. You were going to buy... You were going to sell Lewis. Why haven't you? So the game at Everton versus Liverpool has been postponed, which means that there is no game for Trent. So I don't need to be selling Brian Mbeumo to afford Trent. I may well do it after the deadline at some point today because someone said in the chat the graphics on live FPL are not great. I think the graphics are really, really good for their price prediction stuff. It's very easy to understand. And Mbeumo is predicted to drop. Rodgers is predicted to rise. I'm almost certain that I would at least do that transfer of Mbeumo to Rodgers today. It may depend on if we see predictions for... I mean, Trent's not going to rise. It's just if we expect Lewis to drop today, but... which it doesn't look like it. Cool. So I'll probably make a transfer today. Somewhere out there, there's someone with a triple up and left themselves with a mess. Of course, if you have your triple captain or anything active, deactivate that. You can't deactivate all chips, but triple captain you can. What are my thoughts on Jackson captain? He's rested. I mean, he should get chances against them. He has a decent record against them, but that's because they got two red cards last time we played them. So I'm not sure I'd captain him. Kanate to Timber, Gabs, or Saliba, and why? I mean, I would go Gabriel, but the issue is he's not certain to play this week. I do think Gabriel is definitely the best long-term pick, but it's if he's going to play this weekend. If you've got bench cover, like anyone, like a Greaves or someone on your bench, then I probably would go Gabriel because I still think he's the best long-term buy. But if you don't, then you probably have to go Timber or Saliba. I probably would go Timber. Wood and Mbeumo to Isak and Rodgers for a hit. You have Jackson too. I probably would. I like Isak's better than Wood, and Rodgers is pretty level with Mbeumo. There is a chance. There is a chance, of course, that Rodgers doesn't start, which is a bit annoying that the deadline hasn't moved because it would have moved to a point where Aston Villa were the early kickoff. But yeah, we did add a benching ranking in my video yesterday. It was a nice new addition. I hope it was useful. Fabianski or Flecken in goal. I'd probably play Flecken at home and just hope he makes more saves. For a differential, what about captaining Mazraoui? I would say no. I would say that's not a good idea. Play Greaves or Pedro Porro. I'd play Pedro Porro. Start 3. 8 Nori, Gabriel, Rico Lewis, Kirkes. You're probably benching... I mean, it's 8 Nori, Rico... You're definitely starting Gabriel. 8 Nori or Rico Lewis. I'd probably bench Rico Lewis because at least 8 Nori has some attacking threats. Verbruggen or Flecken? That's a good question. I would probably go Flecken over Verbruggen. Just Leicester fixture at home. They looked pretty good during the week. I probably would go Flecken. Brighton have not looked great defensively the past couple of games. Take Salah out or just hope for the best. Don't sell Salah. Anyone considering in the chat selling Salah, please, just don't. I'm not doing the auto... I am doing the auto sub on Salah. I am. Definitely letting Semenyo just auto sub in for him. Is Bruno a good buy? I'm not sure Bruno's massively worth the money, if I'm honest. But if I didn't have Bruno now, I probably wouldn't be buying new. Why not sell Salah? Because you'll want him back next weekend. And that's 2 transfers that is too much of a luxury to go and to go and transfer. We're going to put it in subscriber mode early just because it is mega busy in the chat already. If you haven't, please drop a like on the stream. There are 5,000 of you in and watching already. Please drop a like if you haven't and subscribe if you are new around here as well. Welcome to the channel. We are close to 145,000 subscribers, and then we will be close to the 150 mark, which is crazy given I feel like we've already hit 145. We hit it overnight. Well, we're on to 150 at some point. Crazy thinking it was just yesterday we hit 100. Auto subs don't work on postponements, do they? They do. I mean, I'll probably sub Salah out and just start Semenyo, but yeah. Don't sell Salah. They will have a double game week further down the line. Yes, that will be a good opportunity to play chips like your triple captain. It might go into a week where the other teams have a double. It might go into other weeks where a week where someone else has a double, so it might be a bench boost week, but yeah. Why not going Watkins or Bowen for captaincy? I mean, I don't mind them if you own them. I'm not sure I'd go Bowen just based on West Ham, but I don't mind either of those as a captaincy option. I don't own them though. You've got Palmer, Saka, Salah and Haaland. I'm thinking of a cheeky Haaland captain against Palace. I don't mind that at all. I think he's second in my captaincy ranking now after Salah gets removed from it. So I don't mind that at all. Gordon being overlooked. I think he's starting to get a little bit of attention. I'm just not sure he's worth the price tag that we're having to pay for him. I don't really see many squad structures that allow that, especially with people wanting to buy the cheap. I mean, if people go there, I'll speak about it in a moment. Yeah, Haaland is second on my captaincy ranking now. So the thing is, and maybe the Liverpool game will encourage more people to go to someone like a Bowen or a Gordon. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a good long-term move. You might think it's obvious now because you don't want to buy a Liverpool defender. But if I get my team up on plan FPL and I was to do, one sec. Just turn that off for now. Cool. If I was to do, there we go. So let's just put my team in. So let's say I was doing Burmo to Gordon this week, which would be a transfer a lot of people are considering, right? It looks like a good transfer for the next week. But if you then try and get to a point where you're trying to buy a Liverpool defender again, you suddenly really, really stuck for cash again. Like I could do Lewis to Van Dijk. But my team value is not bad, and most people might not be able to afford that. And then you're stuck, well, how do I get the money for a Liverpool defender if you want them next week? And then you're forced to downgrade Gordon probably to go and get it. So will Lewis play today? We don't actually know that. He is in predicted lineups, but we don't know. Is this my final team? No, not necessarily. I'm literally reacting to the news of the postponement as you are as well. Is there a chance Gabriel plays? Yes, he trained inside on Friday. They have a training session today and, of course, play tomorrow. So there is a decent chance he gets training today and plays tomorrow. Of course, it's not guaranteed. You're already taken a -4. Bought Trent, Isak and Martinez in goal. Sold Haaland. With fixtures cancelled, my covers on the bench are Hall and Berg from Brentford. If you've got Salah and Trent and you're bringing in Hall and Sander Berg, it depends. If you've got a transfer that you want to make for the future generally for a -4, then I don't mind it. But if you're doing it just for this week, then I wouldn't. Van der Berg or Robinson, I'd probably just go Robinson. Shouldn't the 12:30 game be postponed to 1:30? The forecast in Liverpool is that the weather is expected to continue all day, so fast to Gvardiol. I don't mind that. You could do similar transfers and go Gvardiol. You could do that. Jamie, apologies. Would I start Powell, Torres or Porro? Probably Porro. What's more likely, a Porro goal or yeah, I'd probably play Porro. because Pau Torres isn't even guaranteed to start. No benching headaches because of postponements. It's true. Has anyone really got benching headaches now that isn't defensively? Because everyone's got Salah, so no one has an attacking benching headache now. Like, people have goalkeeper and maybe defensive ones, but not really. There isn't many benching headaches at the moment. And Burmo to Gordon can still afford Trent next game week. I don't mind the Gordon move then if you can still afford the moves you want to do next week. Fernandez or get Semenyo ready for Trent next week. Yeah, I'd probably go just ready for the future. Gavinho, Raya, Gavardio, Ryan Nori, Gabriel, Palmer, Saka, and Burma, Salah, Roger, Aaron, Burma, Wood to Ahmad, Isaac, and Burma, Wood to Bowen, Pedro. I'd probably just do Wood to Pedro. Sell Gabriel to Timber and Bruno to De Bruyne. No. De Bruyne has literally said he can't play the minutes. I don't understand the De Bruyne love at all. Yeah, just don't get the De Bruyne love. Start Wood or transfer to Isaac. If you've got a free transfer to do Wood to Isaac, I would. No pun intended. Wouldn't I sell Mbermo now that you need his points? I mean, Mbermo's got a home fixture. Brentford have been good at home. The midfielder I'd buy is Rodgers, who I'm not guaranteed that he's going to start this week. So, no, I think I'm just going to keep Mbermo now. Mbermo to Matoma, Gordon, or Visa to João Pedro. Mbermo to Matoma or Visa to João Pedro. I'd probably say that Mbermo transfer is better because Visa is a better pick than Mbermo at the moment. Gusto or Cucurella, I definitely buy Cucurella over Gusto. Gusto feels less nailed. He's literally said that Caicedo inverting from right back is a plan he's had since the start of the season, which is, yeah. Will I start Greaves or Lewis? As per my team, I would play Lewis over Greaves. Greaves, I mean, especially because I've got Semenyo, which impacts that decision a little bit. But, I mean, I might end up with all three. Greaves is also not guaranteed to start. Mbermo and Raul to Semenyo and Cunha to not play Raul. Mbermo and Raul to Semenyo and Cunha. I like those two moves. I mean, I'm not sure I'd be buying Cunha now, but if you've already got Pedro and you can't afford a Jackson or an Isaac, there's not that much else you can go to. But I'm not sure I'd be buying Cunha now. Raul is expected to play this week, but it's not a great fixture. So I probably would do those now, especially if you need cover for Salah. Van den Berg for Trent and roll the transfer by Kirkes. I would just roll. If in doubt in weeks like this, the best thing to do is roll. Or the best thing to do is not panic and make transfers that you don't really want to make. Always the best thing to do. Don't panic and make transfers that you don't want to make. Let me just... play Fernandez this week or get Semenyo a week early. Definitely play Fernandez. Fernandez is a better pick than Semenyo this week. Change Foden to Bowen, Matoma or Semenyo. Have Rodgers and have money for Trent next week. But can have Isaac in 3 transfers if I don't go Bowen. Then I wouldn't go Bowen. Then I probably would go Matoma then or Semenyo. Wasn't that fussed by Semenyo. He played very deep, but I'm hoping that there's going to be space in behind Leif Davis on Sunday. But why is Salah on the bench? Their fixture has been postponed. Their fixture, the Merseyside derby, has been postponed. This one. So this is the captaincy poll that we've got so far. 45% of people are going on Palmer. That's similar to what the chat is saying. And this is the update that we had from the Fantasy Premier League. Let me zoom in a little bit on that. There you go. Game week 15 deadline stream will remain at 11 o'clock. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Would I do Smith Rowe to Rodgers? Your rank still says 25k under my stream. It says 50. Or is it somewhere else? Matoma or Gordon to replace Mbamo. I mean, I'd probably just go the cheaper option if it was me. Larson to Isak now or next game week. If you can do it now, I'd do it now. KDB and Madueke in for Mbumo and Bruno for free. I don't know why people are buying De Bruyne. So no, not the option to buy De Bruyne. Welbeck to Pedro, Evanilson from -4, only Greaves on the bench. I mean, I probably would just go to Pedro and take it and hope that he plays. Johnson to Matoma from -4, Spurs being poor. No, I don't think I'd do that for a hit. No. Solanke to Evanilson to fund Trent next week. I don't hate that transfer this week. It's a pretty good fixture for Evanilson. So if you're going to do it next week anyway, and you know that Evanilson is the one you want, then yes, I would just do it. Would I do Smith Rowe to Rodgers? You read out the question but didn't answer. Sorry, Joe. And now let me answer another question. No, let me answer that one. Smith Rowe to Rodgers. I mean, if you need them this week, then potentially, but it's not guaranteed that Rodgers starts. But I probably would do that. I'd probably take the chance because I think he's better long term anyway. Visa captain, I think there'll be chances for them home to Newcastle, but I don't think I'll be putting the Campsy armband on him. The ownership of Brentford's going to be pretty low. I mean, if we look at the most transferred in players, let me... I'm interested why Saka has so many transfers in. I mean, I suppose that's Mbeumo replacements, right? Gov FPL, I have just read it, unfortunately. Predicted lineups have Rodgers at 100%. Don't know how they can be that sure. I agree. I don't know how they can be that sure. They do have them predicted to start, though. Salah with 260,000 transfers in. Trent with 192,000 transfers in. Van Dijk with 115,000. And that's it out of the top page. It's maybe slightly less, but I suppose the ownership was probably there already, particularly on Salah. Connor Collins, have you not got telly to watch? Should I transfer out Gomez or only bench him? I think they're still sat next door watching me. We have some friends staying this weekend, and as a joke, they were watching the stream as I was starting. But they've just asked a question in the chat, and I'm concerned for them that they are still sat in there watching and not watching something else. Should I transfer out Gomez or only bench him? I'd bench him if you've got any cover. I don't think it's worth. As I said, if you've got players that are not playing, I think the general gist is to not make transfers that you don't really want to make, unless you have to. Like in my team, I don't have to make a transfer, so I'm not going to. Should I sell Justin or Anderson and for Colwell or Hall? Or Emerson or Van Heck or someone else? Captain Bruno. Captain Bruno's not the worst. He should be back in the front three. I would sell James Justin, and I wouldn't buy Colwell this week. I'd buy Kirkes. Kirkes would be my number one buy. If you're looking for a cheap defender this week, Bournemouth have been really, really impressive, particularly at home. Can I make a free hit team? Yeah, we can do a free hit team. I'm going to do it quickly, though, because I realise that not that many people in the chat will be playing a free hit this week. And I don't recommend playing a free hit. But yeah. Sorry, this is next week. Right. Haaland in, Palmer in, Saka in. I would wonder if you can fit in Watkins. Let's go defenders. You would probably go Timber. I mean, you would probably go Gvardiol, but I'd probably go Gvardiol. I probably would go Mazraoui for 1 week, or you could go Kirkes in goal. Martinez, maybe. You could go... don't really care that much about the goalkeepers. Who do... Let's put Martinez in. And then Fabianski. How am I doing for money here? Midfielders. I mean, I'd want Bowen, but I don't know if you can afford it. Let's just put a like Howard Bellis on the bench or something, just so we... And then like a midfielder as well, who's nice and cheap. Like an Enzo Fernandez to sit on the bench. 15.5. It doesn't leave us that much, but we will pick a nice cheap defender. Let's go and put Kirkes in as first cover. Midfielder, we got 10.9, so what's that? 5.5 million. Probably can't afford all of this. Something like, we'd presumably go João Pedro. And then you'd pick 2 midfielders that you can afford for that price. Like a Bowen and a Ahmad or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I've rushed that, but it'd be something like this. Yeah, Tapu just said Ahmad in the chat. You already have the three big mids. Should I sell Son or McNeil, Matoma or someone else? If you can sell McNeil and play Son, at least Son should start this week because he didn't play during the week. Best Brennan Johnson replacement for 5.8. If you have to start them this week, it's probably Semenyo or Rodgers. You could punt on Enzo or Ahmad. If you don't need them this week, then it's probably a Iwobi. Smith Rowe to Rodgers for a hit? No. I mean, if you the issue is we don't know Rodgers is guaranteed to start. If you think Rodgers starts, then yes, do it. But there's a lot of doubt in that mind. Sell him before the deadline or tonight. Price dropping, have 6.3. I'm going to sell him after the deadline because I want Rodgers and I just don't know Rodgers is going to start. So my plan will be to sell him this evening to Rodgers as long as Rodgers comes through the Southampton game okay. Hopefully he doesn't play. Have I done my transfers? I don't think I'm going to make any. I don't really see anything that I obviously want to do. The only thing that I could do is a sideways move of like Mikalenko to Kirkes or something like that. But I don't feel I particularly need it. It would give me better bench cover if Gabriel is not going to play. Garnacho to Kudus or Porro to Kirkes and Garnacho to Gordon for -4. Porro to Colwill, Havertz to Isak. I would sell Garnacho first. He's definitely the biggest priority. So if the option of Havertz to Isak allows you to bench Garnacho, then fine. If not, then Garnacho has to go. I just wouldn't be looking to free hit this week. Generally, I don't think it's a particularly good week to free hit. Even if you're down to like 10 players, I don't think I'll be playing it this week. Any chance the Merseyside derby is rescheduled within the same game week? It's almost impossible. Liverpool play Champions League on Tuesday, so there isn't really another window to rearrange something at such short notice. So it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. Lewis and Greaves surely going to be benched. I mean, I'm not sure Lewis is. They don't really have enough fit defenders. Unless Akanji has made a miraculous recovery. Yeah. Who are we capping? I mean, the poll in the chat has Palmer at 50%. It's still not that high. It's still not that high. I realise I haven't posted that the game is cancelled on... Let me just do that. One second, and then... There we go. I wouldn't go De Bruyne. I just don't think De Bruyne's worth the money. And when he starts getting benched again over Christmas, I don't think you'll want it. So, Wood and Smith Rowe to Isak and Rodgers for a hit. Wood and Smith Rowe to Isak and Rodgers for a hit. I mean, I probably would. I think they're big enough upgrades. I'm not certain that Rodgers is going to start, though. That's the only doubt in my mind that we've got. But a lot of the predictions have him as starting, so maybe I'm wrong. I was wrong last week, and I may well be wrong again this week. It's a pretty decent opportunity to go differential with your captain if there's someone you really like. I think it's less easy than it was a couple of weeks ago when there were some really nice options, but yeah. Bench 2, Aït-Nouri, Gabriel Lewis, Aina Vandenberg. Will De Bruyne start? He should, given that Phil Foden is still ill and unavailable, but he did say he can't play that many minutes and he did start midweek. I just wouldn't be buying De Bruyne. I don't really understand why you'd want to pay the price tag for him. Is Gvardiol in my plans? Yes. I mean, I'm just slowly getting priced out of my plans though, so he is in them at some point. Like Mbeumo to Rodgers, Lewis to Trent, and Aït-Nouri to Gvardiol. I'm like 0.3 short of that now. So there is a consideration to go Van Dijk over Trent. Like next week, I could do all three of those moves if I wanted to. That's the wildcard draft. Sorry, the free hit draft. You're not getting Trent then. I mean, the game has been postponed, so there is no Liverpool-Everton game. There's no Liverpool-Everton game in game week 15. So no, I will not be buying Trent this week. I might get Trent next week. It's still the plan. Is Dean Hudson of Bournemouth? So, sounds like Senesi is out for a while. Which does mean their new young centre-back who did score during the week is likely to start a lot of games. It's not guaranteed he plays all of them, but like, will they sign a centre-back in January? Maybe. Like, it's not guaranteed that you get forever with him, but he should be starting the upcoming games. Yes. Is it confirmed Gabriel will play? No, it's not at all. It's definitely not at all. I'm interested to see if people start selling like Trent. Senesi out, bad for Kirkes. I mean, they kept a clean sheet against Spurs without him. It's not great. Like, you'd rather have Senesi there than not, but I still think they're a good functioning team. I mean, I could do something like this with my transfers next week and just transform my defense and go Van Dijk. I could go Gavardiol. And then I could go Rodgers. I could do that. It does mean that next week it means I'd have to go Van Dijk over Trent though. But it would give me Gabriel, Van Dijk, Gavardiol back three going forward, which I do really like. But I just prefer Trent over Van Dijk, I think. Especially now that Trent literally needs a rest. And this is it. You know he's getting a full... he's now basically had from last weekend off. He's going to have a 2-week break. Maybe he'll play in the Champions League on Tuesday, but... I wouldn't free hit, no. I think there'll be better opportunities further down the line. Yeah, so this would be nice. If I go Trent now, though, I'm 0.3 short of it. So it's just finding that money to go and do that. Where would you find 0.3 from this team? It would probably be Semenyo to someone cheaper. It could be Cunha to someone cheaper. There are a few of them. It could be Cunha back to Chris Wood if he drops. But yeah, there's a few things. Could be Timber in for Gabriel. I'm not going to be making that move, but yes. I could just go Ahmad. I mean, I think I'd want Rodgers, but I could just go Ahmad. You have Timber and Gabriel. Mikalenko to a 4 million. That is also possible. Because Mikalenko's fixtures are horrible and I just won't plan on playing him. But then, I mean, am I buying Connor Cody? This just doesn't feel like a good squad structure at all. If I'm building a defence that looks like Gabriel, Trent, Gavardiol, Greaves and Cody, it doesn't feel great. But it would afford me the transfers. The thing is with Gavardiol is, I know they're not great defensively, but 0.56 XG. He had 2 big chances in that game. What I would actually like to do is go Trent and Van Dijk. But I can't really afford that. I can't really afford it. What I'm more likely to do is keep Mikalenko in there for now. Go Timber. And then do Raya to Alisson. Oh, he's Becker. Oh, it's because I'm searching defenders as well. I could do something like that once Alisson's back. Syed, thank you very much. I appreciate the support on the channel. Thank you very much for the super chat. Have a lovely weekend. I hope your team is set. I saw you messaged in the GOAT tier chat. Yeah, just roll. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Have a lovely weekend and good luck with your FPL team as well. So I could do something like that. Do I keep Virgil and Salah and play Aït-Nouri and Jackson, or should I use transfers? No, I would just keep them. So I do have my plans on a bit of a big at the back structure going on. It would also leave me a bit of money to upgrade Mikalenko as a bit of a sub in case Trent ever did get a full rest. Free hit draft. Yes, there you go. Free hit draft would be something that looks like that. If you don't have the money, I mean, the bench can easily be downgraded. Just take, Kirkes to someone really cheap, for example. Or Enzo to someone really cheap. Or something like that. So, yes, something like that would be what a wildcard draft, free hit draft. If you are doing the free hit, take a screenshot now because I'm about to click off it. 5. Kluivert to Rodgers? No. Kluivert or Rodgers, sorry. I mean, Kluivert's early sub massively put me off him. I don't know how predictions have Rodgers at 100% likely to start, but that's what they do. I probably would go Rodgers over Kluivert. What to do with Liverpool players? I would just keep them and just leave them on the bench. This is not a good week to wildcard now because you'd want probably double, if not triple Liverpool in there. Thoughts on what the mystery chip could be? I mean, we're hoping to get the mystery chip announced at some point in December. So let's hope we get it soon. Maybe it'll be something useful like no weather postponements. Or I said earlier on when I didn't play my triple captain, I said I'm going to hope that it snows. I'm not playing my triple captain and I hope it snows. And we've got a storm. So as a selfish point of view, because I'm actually out all day today. So them moving the deadline back was not ideal for me. So them cancelling the game is good for my FPL team, but not moving the deadline is also good for it. From a selfish point of view. It is possible that the website might have issues this morning, so I wouldn't hesitate to make some plans and some transfers early on. There's going to be so many people on that website making transfers. Someone said there's already errors. It looks fine to me, but I would be careful. Hopefully it's long enough that we're likely to get... Well, it shouldn't really consider it. It shouldn't really crash it. Sorry. On Madueke, a good pick. I'm just not sure that Chelsea are... Sorry. I'm not sure that the Chelsea wingers are nailed enough. There'll be a lot of chopping and changing between those Chelsea wingers. So, no. Drakus. Best Canati replacement, nothing in the bank. Probably Kirkes, and I'd come down. Who do I start for Salah, Virgil and Dibbling? From Dibbling, Davis and Vandenberg. Probably Davis and Dibbling. Yeah. Who's going to be my captain? I think it'll be Palmer. Any feeling towards Jackson captain? I don't hate it. I just think Palmer is just more reliable and he's got pens and stuff like that. But I don't mind Jackson. I think 6 out of 8 of Jackson's goals for Chelsea this season have been the first goal in the game. So if he scores, should be good for Chelsea. But I think Palmer is the one I will end up on. Transfer out and Burmo, Visa or both. You have 1.1 in the bank. I'm not sure you need to prioritise selling Visa this week. I probably would look to sell in Burma if you can, but I'm not sure you necessarily force it because I doubt you need the money for anything this week. Sold Rico and Burma and got Trent to avoid the price rise. What to do now? Same team as you, except I have Clivert and Rodgers. No, you just play them. Like, you should be fine. I actually almost did the transfers last night, even with the potential that the game was going to get cancelled, because I mean, the only difference is I would have Rodgers in over Burmo and I'd have Greaves in over Lewis. And I don't think that's that different this week. So I actually almost did it because I knew that there was going to be price changes last night that impacted it. And he did go up in price. So, yes, it's a bit annoying. I'm interested to know what happens in terms of sales of these Liverpool players, though. Why is Trent still being bought? I don't quite know. Maybe it hasn't updated since 9. Is Mbomo to Doku a shout? Personally, I don't love players like Doku going into a very busy Christmas period, so I wouldn't do it. Gabriel play or not? We expect him. He's predicted to, but we don't know, really. We don't have any more information than we had. It's from the press conference yesterday. Solanke or Aït-Nouri. If you've got Solanke, you definitely play him. Vandenberg or Greaves. Probably Greaves. Smith Rowe replacement. You have 1.2 in the bank. I mean, a Matoma. I don't think you can get to Gordon. So it's a Matoma or someone else at the price, like a Rodgers or a Ahmad or something like that. Or you could just play Smith Rowe, but I probably wouldn't want to do that either. Did Trent transfer just before the announcement? That's a shame. That is annoying. I mean, there have been, since about lunchtime yesterday, a lot of rumours that this might be a possibility. But, like, I almost made the transfers last night because of the price change and stuff as well. So, yeah. I'm not sure anyone... things started to sort of be murmured, but I'm not sure people really expected this to happen. But Luke, how are we doing? And Burma and Wood out for Semenyo and Watkins. I like it. I just don't know how much you want Watkins long term. But if you like Watkins for the long term, then I don't mind those transfers this week. Am I selling in Burma? I don't think so. I just don't think I can be confident enough that Rodgers starts. And if he doesn't start and they're winning, what's to say he doesn't play nothing? And then I don't have the bench to cover it. So I'm just going to stick as it is, I think. I truly don't get the Palmer over Saka cap. I swear Fulham easier team to play than Spurs. I mean, Fulham at home this season. Sorry, that's Saka. I don't have anyone from Fulham. I feel like that's just a name of team like buys. They won 3-1 there. Okay, they lost 4-1 to Wolves at home, but they beat Brentford. Okay, maybe beat Newcastle 3-1. Like, there's not loads of goals conceded in quite a lot of these games. And like even they conceded that, but they didn't nearly concede the chances for it. And same against Wolves as well. Like their XG is definitely better than Spurs. And it depends if Romero's back. Because if Romero's not back, Spurs are going to have Dragishin and Archie Gray as their centre-backs against Chelsea on Sunday. So I do expect Romero will be okay though. Do I stick to Greaves auto sub for Gabriel? I mean, if I knew Gabriel wasn't going to play, I'd make a transfer. But I hope he does play, so I'm not going to make a transfer. I'm not going to make one. Do I transfer out Raul? Any good replacements? I mean, not really. Like, outside of Jackson, Isak, and João Pedro, there's not that many forwards that I would really be looking at this week. Evan Nilsson you could potentially go to as well, actually. I quite like. Best long-term replacement for Mbeumo for 60 million or less. You're already playing Rodgers for Salah this week. Iwobi I quite like as a long-term buy. Buy Semenyo this week for Mbeumo or play him and sell tonight for Iwobi. I would just play Mbeumo. Is Semenyo worth it after last game playing at right back? I mean, he didn't quite play at right back and he did create a couple of big chances. So I don't think the data massively reflects it, but he wasn't that bad. I was sort of joking on Twitter, but his data's not great. But he did create some chances in that game if you watched it. There was one right towards the end which Tavernier missed, just blazed over the bar from about the penalty spot, which would have been an assist. So, Master, apologies. Did McNeil to Tavernier yesterday? -4 for Semenyo felt wrong. Bowen cap, Salah, Saka, Palmer, vice captain, benching Mo. Good luck. Thank you very much for the super chat, and good luck to you as well. Glad I did McNeil to Tavernier, going Bowen cap. Very nice. Very nice. You have McNeil, Mikalenko, Salah, and Gabriel. Do I need any transfers if Gabriel doesn't play? I mean, I would be looking to sell Gabriel regardless. Sorry, Gabriel. I would be looking to sell McNeil regardless. Yeah. Could the Liverpool game be suspended to tomorrow? So Liverpool played Champions League on Tuesday night. They play Champions League on Tuesday at 5:45. I'd be almost certain it won't. I mean, I never say never with these things, but I would say never. That is 1 hour to go until the FPL deadline. If you haven't already, please like the stream. We are 7,500 you viewing and watching and 800 likes. There are 7,000 of you in that have not liked the stream. If you haven't already, please do. And if you are new to the channel, We're hoping to get to 150,000 subscribers very, very soon. So if you want to support the channel that way as well, that would be fantastic. But if you've already subscribed, drop a like on the stream. That also helps. Who else is free hitting because their team is in tatters? I mean, I do have a free hit draft. It would look something like this. Yeah. Is there a possibility that Palmer doesn't start? We have Spurs away. The only reason Palmer wouldn't start is if he's unavailable. So no. Canate and Wood to Kirkes and João Pedro from -4. Canate and Wood to Kirkes. Yes. I'm not. Is Wood to João Pedro worth a hit? Maybe not. Maybe I would just do the Kirkes move. And Burma and Vita out for Isak and Semenyo roll. Yeah, if you could do that for free, I would. Could do it for free. What should you do with Canate? I would be looking to sell him, yeah. What I think about Mitoma. Sorry, this is the free hit draft. Let me get my team back. Thank you for 1,000 likes, by the way. Yes, I would be looking to sell Canate. Yep, De Bruyne, Saka or Palmer. I wouldn't be buying De Bruyne. I don't really understand the De Bruyne hype. He just can't play the minutes at the moment, and we've seen that. He's just not worth the money. Kirkes and Virgil van Dijk versus Trent and Lewis. I mean, Kirkes and Van Dijk is probably better, but there's not much difference in value there. Trent and Lewis feels much, much more expensive. And Burma out. Keep Chris Wood. Sorry, yeah, if you've got Chris Wood, I mean, if you want to go João Pedro for free, then yes. Or you want to go to Jackson for free or one of the others, Isak for free. But I'm not sure I'd be selling him for a hit. And Burma out for Semenyo or roll. I would roll that, definitely. Definitely. You're tempted to go Van Dijk and Gavardio over Trent. And yeah. It does tempt me as well. It does tempt me as well. Yeah, I've got my eye on a few things. I need to have a look at it, but yeah. Someone's YouTube channel is called FPL Harry the Goat. I mean, I appreciate the support and you naming your FPL channel after me. And I will answer your question. Lewis 8 Nori to Timber and Mbermo to Gordon. You have exact money for it. Yes, I would sell Lewis first probably. Because at least I just don't trust Lewis. Particularly in terms of minutes every week. But I'm going to have to rely on him this week. Because I don't have a Liverpool defender to buy. Is that going to be my back line? Yeah. I'm really getting a lot of defender points at the moment. I do plan on upgrading at least one defender next week. I'll have 3 free transfers again. So I probably plan on using all 3. What about downgrading Raya? I could. Anwar, thank you. It's already in subscriber mode. But thank you. Start with Bruggen or Fabianski. I mean, that was the closest one I had. I probably would put it in on Fabianski, but it's pretty close. Taking a -4. Am I? No. Would I recommend it? It depends what the transfers are. What do I recommend for people who have triple Liverpool and literally no subs? Probably upgrade your subs so that you have cover rather than selling your triple Liverpool. Wood to Isak or Jackson. I mean, I probably prefer Isak over Jackson now. I feel like I made a mistake. Anwar, no worries. I put it in it earlier just because the chat was very busy. Yeah, just because the chat was mega busy. Connor, which defender would I go for 6.3 and below? Specifically, need this week in game week 18 onwards between Gavardio or cheaper. I mean, I'd go Gavardio if you can afford it. When is the Liverpool game? the Liverpool game has been postponed, so we don't know when it will be moved to. The rumours are of game week 19 and game week 25 at the moment. And Burma and Visa out for Isak and Semenyo will roll. I did answer I would do those transfers if they're for free, yeah. Thoughts on Slanky? Is he worth selling? Yes, like not a priority sell because Spurs will still do Spurs things and do well at times. But I prefer the other forwards over him, particularly now that we know that Son's going to be on pens when he's on the pitch. I suppose the good thing is if Son isn't on the pitch, which he isn't always at the moment, then Slanky probably will be on penalties. But my captain is on Palmer. If I have 5 transfers, would I transfer Salah out for Saka or De Bruyne, then bring Salah back next week? Probably not. I'd do something else. Like I'd find a way to get Saka in your team plus Salah. So no. Even Gandhi wins. Gandhi wins always. It means we don't have to captain in the early kickoff. That is the only bonus. If price changes stops and Burma and Lewis to Trent and Clivert after tonight, worth doing after the deadline? Yes, probably. I plan on making at least one transfer this evening. Is it worth swapping Salah for Palmer then switch again for next game week? Salah for Palmer and switch back. I don't think it's worth 2 free transfers. I'd find a way to get Palmer in on top of it. No. If I have 5 free transfers, what would I change in my team? I'd find a way to get like a double. I'd find a way to do premium defense. Dave, Son to Semenyo, Iwobi or Gordon. Bearing in mind Semenyo Iwobi allows me to do Powell to Visa to Gabriel and Jackson. Well then I'd go Iwobi. If you need them this week then it's probably Semenyo, but long term Iwobi looks great. Time for Haaland's redemption arc. I mean, without Salah, surely you can't not have a redemption arc this weekend. But us non-Salah owners, we will just have to... non-Haaland owners, we will just have to deal with it. And hope that we get enough points. But there's not that many people left with Haaland in their teams. Crunch. And Burma and Johnson for Enzo, Semenyo, Rogers or Ahmad. I'd sell Burma first. And I probably think Rogers is the best of that list. Rogers is still the best of the cheap ones. Playing Mavadidi, Bowen, Locks, Trent, Iwobi, Roll. I don't love Mavadidi this week. He's definitely not guaranteed to be in the lineup. So I'd probably be looking to do something that doesn't mean you play... that doesn't make you play... Mavadidi this week. My free hit, Martinez, Dean. Any thoughts? Yeah, I'm not sure I'd go Zabani away at Ipswich. Ipswich have been all right. I'm not sure I'd do that. Like Dean's fine. He's not guaranteed to start though. That's the only thing. Timber's fine. De Bruyne should start, but it's not guaranteed. You've got a few players in there, so as long as your bench is fine, it's just not guaranteed that all your defenders will play. And you don't have De Bruyne, you don't have Palmer in it. So no Chelsea attack is probably what I would change. Aina to Gvardiol. I don't mind Aina to Gvardiol. Yeah, Gvardiol's a nice buy. Winks out for Semenyo or play Greaves. I do Winks out. Winks will have to go at some point. Yes, I would do that. Does a free hit clear any -4s? Yes, if you activate it before the deadline, it will. But the transfers you did will, of course, just become part of the free hits. You'll go back to having the team you had before you made any transfers. Am I transferring Mbeumo out? No, I'm not. I mean, the only reason for me to sell Mbeumo was to get Trent in. And I know the predictions have Rodgers very likely to start, but I'm not sure. Seeing people bringing KDB on Twitch, I don't really understand it, but he's just too expensive. He's literally said he can't play the minutes. Aston Villa have tweeted that they were advising supporters to allow extra time for travel due to poor weather conditions across the country. Please take care and stay safe. We look forward to seeing you at the game. I mean, that is what they said before that's what they said to Liverpool and Everton said last night, but I don't think that means, I think it's too close to the game now for them to be tweeting that and then it get postponed. Wood and Mbeumo to Isak and Semenyo for a hit. I mean, it probably is worth a hit, yes. I don't love it for a hit this week, but it probably is worth it, yeah. Rodgers or Mbeumo. I mean, I wouldn't sell Mbeumo to Rodgers, basically. Porro to Gabriel for free this week. No, just given we aren't guaranteed that Gabriel will play, and given he missed a game like Manchester United at home midweek, yeah. Put your vice captain on someone on Monday night because there could be more postponements tomorrow. The weather in London's pretty good tomorrow. I can have a look for you, but what's opinion on a free hit this week? I personally don't like it. I think it's going to be better used further down the line. Keep Mbeumo and transfer Jackson to Isak for free, or keep Jackson and transfer Mbeumo to Semenyo. I'd probably roll Majed. I'd just roll my transfer. Pour it to Gabriel for free. Right, let's check the London weather forecast just to make sure that that's not what I wanted. Yeah, it doesn't really get very bad in London tomorrow. The winds are at 40 miles an hour compared to 70. Hoping this stream's still there. Sorry, everything just froze on me. We have to worry about weather conditions? Absolutely. Absolutely. Thoughts on Kudus? Yeah, I don't mind him as a cheap alternative. I thought he was pretty quiet in the game the other night, though. I do think Bowen is a better buy, but I don't think he's too much of a bad pick. I don't think he's too bad. Sanchez to Raya or Aït-Nouri to Timber. I probably would favour just going Timber, but I don't know if you need to do it this week. I do think Fulham are pretty decent. So if Gabriel misses this, it's not the end of the world. It is because a lot of us don't have cover on our benches anymore. But honestly, Mykolenko just continues to let me down, this guy. Have no bench. Would I sell Mykolenko for Kirkes? I mean, I wouldn't sell Mykolenko to Kirkes just to have on your bench. But if you've got players you think are reasonable risks, then yes, maybe do it. Need a goalkeeper to replace Kelleher. I mean, if you've got, I don't know who your backup is, you could do your backup to Fabianski or something like that and just start building it better that way. You could do that. Could the game be played on Monday night? No, Liverpool played Champions League on Tuesday evening. Mbeumo to Ahmad or Roll. I would just roll. I don't think Ahmad is necessarily better than Mbeumo this week. Robinson and Lewis for Timber and Gavardio. Is it worth a hit? I mean, is Lewis to Gavardio worth a hit? I mean, probably just for safety of mind, right? And the attacking return will come at some point and you'll be happy you've got him. Lewis and Garnacho to Gavardio and Ahmad. I basically need a Lewis or Garnacho replacement. Thoughts on captaining Bowen? Have Saka and Palmer as well. I don't hate the Bowen captaincy. I personally wouldn't be doing it. I'd be captaining Palmer. You need a Garnacho replacement. There's quite a lot of good cheap ones that we've spoken about. The likes of Semenyo, Rodgers, Mitoma. Iwobi, Ahmad, Enzo if you need that. Like, there's quite a lot in there. It's quite a lot. It depends how much money you need for other stuff. Captain Bruno. I mean, just if he ends up playing deeper, but we don't expect it, then it's suddenly it suddenly doesn't look great. So I personally wouldn't be captaining Bruno, personally. Not captaining Saka is a mistake, surely. I mean, I think Palmer is a very reasonable captain. Had a lot of chances during midweek as well. Yeah, put up 2.15 XGI against Southampton. Like, some of this data is really good, so I have no worries with Palmer. If you want to captain Saka, like, completely fine. Be my guest. I think he's a good captaincy this week. Watkins cap, I still like as well. It's just his minutes. He might not play enough, but if he's got a couple of goals by 60 and comes off, then it's not the end of the world. Why no Salah? The game... His goal was one of those XG. That is true. That is true. The game between Liverpool and Everton has been postponed for anyone who is joining new. Today's Merseyside derby at Goodison Park has been postponed due to adverse weather conditions. Full details to follow. Game week 15 deadline will remain at 11. Captain Rodgers, I personally wouldn't do that, but I don't think there's enough guarantee that he starts this game, given they've got a big Champions League tie midweek. But Salah predicted to go down. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right. Hopefully Trent's predicted to go down as well. He is not predicted to go down, but he's predicted not to be too far away from it. Where is Van Dijk? I mean, Virgil's... I mean, it's because they're being mass sold at the moment. There's no way any of these players are going to fall tonight. Salah is... I mean, why are people selling Salah? He's predicted to have thousands and tens of thousands of transfers out between now and the deadline. Hey, Harry. Great videos. Thank you. Should I take a -8 to transfer Salah and Gakpo out or just for this weekend? No. I would sell Gakpo because I don't love Gakpo as a buy generally, but I wouldn't sell Salah, no. Benching Smith Rowe or Colwill, I'd always play the attacker in those situations. Palmer or Isak in. I think Palmer's more important than Isak. I've said it in my videos over the past few weeks that getting to Salah, Saka, Palmer is just the biggest priority in your team at the moment. So yes, I'd prioritise, as much as Jackson is a good pick this week, I would prioritise Palmer in. Tottenham at home are better than Fulham at home. So isn't Saka better captain today than Palmer? I mean, if you think that Saka is a better captain, it's pretty close between the two. If you think Saka is the better captaincy, absolutely go for it. I will not be the one to stop you captaining Saka this week. I just prefer Palmer's central positioning for a captain. Salah just didn't want to go up against Gandhi. That's what it was, yeah. Trying to give your friend some positives, but you have 7 available players. Any advice would be great. I mean, if you've got players not playing, that must mean you have 8 players not available. So I would be looking to transfer out some of those because only 6 of them can be Everton and Liverpool. Keep the 3 Liverpool ones and sell some of the others. Even if it's for hits, because it's probably worth it because they're probably worth upgrading. Jackson differential captain. I don't hate the Jackson shout. I personally wouldn't do it. I'd always captain a penalty taker because as we've seen with Salah over the past few weeks, sometimes you can not be the most involved in some of the games. He was so good midweek, but in some of the games and suddenly gets a penalty and he comes away with a 15-pointer. That is the benefit to captaining a penalty taker. Buy Semenyo or Mitoma. I mean, if the Mitoma transfer doesn't block any other future moves, then definitely Mitoma over Semenyo. Would I play Fabianski over Flecken? I would probably play Flecken, but I've backed Wolves much more than maybe I should have done over the past couple of weeks. Thoughts on Welbeck? Would I trade him out? Would I transfer him out? I mean, if you can do Welbeck to João Pedro, I would probably do it. So yeah, I mean, if you've got anyone on the bench, potentially not, but I probably would be looking to sell Welbeck. If you was free hit this week, who would I pick? If you're on free hit, it would look something like this. Captain Evan Nielsen, I'm not sure I'd be doing that. I definitely wouldn't be doing that. Any news on if Edison is going to play? We don't know. I think the predictions... I'm not sure what the predictions have. I think there's still a lot of thought that Ortega will keep his place. Still an 11 o'clock deadline, yes. Right. Take a hit to remove Pickford, probably, especially if you don't have a backup keeper, because their fixtures coming up are not great. Sanchez or Fabianski, that's pretty close. Probably would go with Sanchez. No, probably Fabianski over Sanchez this week. Best 5.4 million mid, not Rodgers, Ahmad, Kluivert, or Enzo Fernandez. Start Sells or Fabianski. Who Forrest got? Fabianski over Sells. No. Probably Sells over Fabianski. Free hit if I have Kelleher, Trent, Salah and Mikalenko. Probably not. I would just look to sell Mikalenko and maybe Kelleher. Mirav. Ahmad and Trent or Van Dijk and Rodgers makes sense with context. Ahmad and Trent or Van Dijk and Rodgers. Probably Van Dijk and Rodgers then. Kirkes and Enzo Fernandez or Hall and Iwobi. Probably the Iwobi route, probably. Sanchez or Fabianski, we did. My Salah backup is Rodgers. Considering there's a risk he doesn't start, should I get someone else? No. I think there's enough chance that you're not going to be selling Salah and you're not going to be selling Rodgers. Used your transfer to buy Timber or João Pedro. It depends who you're selling. I prefer João Pedro, but if you're selling a good striker, then yeah. Yeah, as Goldstone said in the chat, I uploaded my 1000th video at the weekend. On Friday morning was my 1000th video on YouTube. So thank you all very much for the support and allowing me to get to a place where I've uploaded 1,000 times. Like, that is crazy. I think it includes short form videos, but still... 1,000 uploads is absolutely wild. Like, thank you all so much for your support. I mean, letting me upload videos for a living is crazy. So, yeah, massively appreciated. 1,000. I saw it and Oscar sent it to me. It was like 999. I was like, well, that's crazy. What's wrong with Garnacho? We just don't know. His minutes are... Yeah, maybe I should pin... Brennan Johnson or Cunha. I definitely would go Cunha this week out of the two of those. Bench 2, Cunha, Rodgers, Greaves. Greaves and Hall, if you can bench the defenders. Greaves and Hall, definitely. Hello. Hey. Is it wet out there? Yeah. It's storming in London. Thank you very much.
I'm sure it's nothing like other parts of the country, but
you can understand why it's not going ahead.
yeah,
Yeah. Nice cup of coffee. That is exactly what I needed. That was Holly. She's gone. If you don't stick around for the end of streams, you might not know, but that's Holly. Oh. Start Hall or Colwell? Hall. It's steady here in Nottingham. Apparently it's not great in Birmingham, but I don't think it sounds like any of the other games are going to get called off. Yeah, I mean, if you've got Haaland, I probably would be looking to... to captain him. It's either him or Palmer, but if I had Haaland, I'd probably take the chance on it. Bench one, Cunha, Rodgers, Matoma, Bowen. I mean, probably Rodgers and hope that he doesn't start. Why not sack a cap? I just prefer Palmer. I think that Spurs defence is looking pretty weak at the moment. Selling Mbeumo or Wood for a hit, yes or no? I'm not sure I'd sell either for a hit. I mean, it depends who you could buy. Like, if you could do Wood to Isak for a hit, would I potentially? But Mural, what to do with Matoma and Mbeumo? So those of you in Burmo, I would probably hold him this week. A lot of you will be looking at replacements that need money for next week's transfers. I would be keep giving in Burmo one more week. It is a home fixture. They have been much better at home than they have been away. I completely understand that he's been very frustrating, but anyone within Burmo, I plan on giving him one more week, and then he'll almost be certainly be gone by midnight tonight for a midfielder. So yeah, that's what I would do. Romero starting. We don't know anything on Romero. Like, it doesn't sound very positive, but you never know what they do for a game. Like, it's a big game for both clubs. So maybe they roll him out, but yeah. I plan on probably doing Mbeumo to Rodgers. I probably will do Mbeumo to Rodgers. Play Smith Rowe or get Semenyo Clive at Rodgers 6.4 available. Play Fabianski or do Pickford to Raya. I do Pickford to Raya if you can, because you'll want to do that transfer anyway. And I probably would just keep Smith Rowe for this week, because I mean, if you think Rodgers starts, then go Rodgers. But I don't think I'd be doing Smith Rowe to a Semenyo this week, to be honest, based on what we saw midweek from them. The deadline for FPL will stay at 11. Yes, that is what FPL have officially tweeted. Bench 2 out of Hall, Gabriel, Colwell, Greaves, Rico Lewis. I mean, we can do a benching decision for defenders. We can do it if you want. There's loads of people with benching decisions for defenders. So Gabriel, you definitely play. Gabriel, you definitely play. I'd probably play Rico Lewis over Lewis Hall. I'd probably play Aït-Nouri over both of them. I'd play Lewis Hall over Levi Colwill. I'd play Colwill over Greaves. Shout me some defenders in the chat if you want me to add it to the ranking. What's your opinion on selling a Berman Isak to get Saka and João Pedro for a hit? I mean, I don't mind that, actually, Connor. I don't mind that. I know Isak out for a hit feels weird, but it does get you Saka. Fernandes and Mbeumo or Saka and Ahmad for free. I probably would just keep Fernandes and Mbeumo for one more week. Van Heck, Mazraoui. Mazraoui, you definitely start. Mazraoui, Porro as well. Yeah, I'll add him in. He's probably above Rico Lewis. Porro, Van Heck, Aina. Okay. Let me do this. Lewis Hall, they've got. Okay, so Van Heck, Aina away, Man United. Greaves, Aina, we've got Kirkes. Kirkes is just a definite start. So yeah, Vandenberg, we can add. Van den Berg. Right, let me add it to the rotation again. So benching headache will be coming up in the top right-hand corner in just a moment. Aït-Nouri's in it. Dean we can add. I mean, I would just play Dean and hope he starts if you've got him. Timber, I mean, if you've got Timber, you're just playing him, right? He's not going to be in the benching ranking. Semenyo or Cliver, I probably would go Semenyo. Milenkovic, I mean, he goes with... Right, it'll be up in just a moment for you. Thank you all for your feedback. I mean, Dallo, like, if you've got Dallo, you're playing Dallo, right? He's so attacking. He has to be played. Colwell is in it. It should be up in the top right for you now. Do I think Ahmad plays today? He's come on off your bench. Yes, he should do. They were much better when he's in the team. Let me put the benching ranking up for a little while. A lot of you are asking, I mean, Konza, if you've got Konza, you probably just play him. I'd probably play... I mean, Powell's less likely because he started the other night. But I think you've got them. Let me put Powell slightly lower down. Aina is on the list. So there it is. Robinson, thank you. That is the other one we probably need. We've kind of hit... I'm going to take Gabriel off the list because you're all just playing Gabriel. And I'll probably take Dean off the list as well. And then you, Robinson. Yeah. I'd put him in there. Cool. There you go. That should be about it. If you've got someone like a Veltman or a Pau Torres, they probably go in the same place that the defender from their club is already in it. So, sorry, I've got the wrong thing up on screen, don't I? This is what I was saying. The game week 15 deadline is still 11. The Merseyside derby is being postponed. In the top right-hand corner, you have the benching ranking for this weekend. Sorry, let me... there you go. Update. There you go. Hit for 11 starters. If the transfer benefits you going forward, then yes, I would. Storm for the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game has been postponed as per the thumbnail and the stream title as well. There will be no Everton or Liverpool players getting points this week. Kirkes is in the benching ranking. He is very high up at the top. Any Gabriel news? No, but just start him if you do own him. Just start him if you do own him. Thoughts on João Pedro captain? I personally wouldn't. If you've got Gvardiol, you would just start him. João Pedro captain, a few of you are asking me in the chat at the moment about João Pedro captain. I personally wouldn't. Like, I still think there's always a doubt with him that he definitely starts every week. And with that in mind and his performances and returns, I'm not certain I'd be putting the armband him. There are a lot of you with benching rankings, particularly for defenders in the chat. I have updated my benching ranking for the top right-hand corner, and it will be up in about... it comes around like once a minute, and it will be up there for you. So if you're looking for benching rankings for defenders, check out the visuals on the screen in the top right-hand corner, and it will be up in about 10 seconds. Captain, Palmer, Saka or punt on De Bruyne. I mean, I'm on Palmer. I don't think I'd go De Bruyne. Bianca, thank you very much. Good morning and welcome, and thank you for being a member for 10 months. Greaves to Gvardiol for free. Yes, I definitely would. I like that transfer a lot. I would like that transfer a lot. I wonder if Faster is a better upgrade, but yes. I'll wait and get Trent for Van Dijk. Bianca, hopefully you might be able to do Aït-Nouri to Trent or Van Dijk at some point in the future. So if you can do that, then yes, do Greaves to Gvardiol. Yeah. Bruyne, Trent and Salah last night. Any advice? Just bench them. If you need more cover, just sell the players on your bench. Don't sell your Liverpool players. If you've got Trent, Van Dijk or Salah, they should not be sells for you this week. If you've got other Liverpool players like a... No. If you've got Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez or Salah, you don't sell them. If you've got a Darwin, you've got a Luis Diaz, you've got a Gakpo, you can use this as an opportunity to move off them if you want to. Captain Jackson, I personally wouldn't. Like, we've seen Salah get hauls because he's not been massively in games. Just not massively, in games, and then get penalties, and then that's why it's great to captain a penalty taker. Why didn't they change the deadline time? I imagine it's too close and it's too short notice. I thought they'd change it, but maybe they don't think the people who are asleep now, it's a too much of an advantage to people who are awake to have this news while they're asleep. But maybe moving, I don't know. I would have moved it if they had the ability, but they haven't. So it is what it is. Pick one. Wind, rain or snow. Snow is definitely the best, right? Justin, of course. 2 free transfers. You have Flecken, Fabianski. No. I wouldn't move to Raya this week. Like, I wouldn't bother with them away at Fulham. I'd probably just play one of those like Flecken and maybe do it next week. If you know you're going to do it, then yeah, fine, just get it done. But I don't think it's particularly worth a luxury move this week. Why Palmer over Saka captaincy? I just think Spurs defensively don't look that great at the moment. That Chelsea-Spurs game always has goals in it, it feels like. And I think Fulham are a very underrated team. Both are nice captains. I'm not saying I don't like Saka captain. It's one of those that, it's like the Messi-Ronaldo debate. If I say I prefer one of them, it doesn't mean I don't like the other one. But I just prefer Palmer this week. I mean, I might just start Salah, right? Surely it's the right thing to do. And bench. I mean, who would my weakest attacker be? It probably would be Semenyo anyway. I know I'm going to get 100 questions on the stream about this for the next hour, but Messi, yeah, I mean, Ronaldo versus Messi, but it is just Messi though, right? If you're on wildcard, you still need at least a couple of Liverpool options. No. Extra rest for Trent makes him even better pick over Van Dijk now, surely. I mean, you would imagine so, that this just boosts the chance that Trent plays all of these minutes. Would I captain Isak? He's number 5 on my ranking, so yes, I don't hate the armband. I imagine you own at least one of the players above him in the list, though. So Fabianski or Sanchez. The goalkeepers are really close. I probably would play Fabianski at home, but Isak captain over Palmer. No, I would captain Palmer over Isak. Why Mazraoui ahead of Lewis? Maz played 90 midweek. Lewis only played 16. Is more attacking. Because Mazraoui is very important to that Man United team, and Lewis, although he played less minutes, is still not 100% nailed to start if Akanji is back available. So it's a rest for Bradley as well. That is true. That is true.
That's the most nicer way to go. Yeah, so when you go down, you need to go on the Stamford line or the Hammersmith City line, but don't.
One sec. Who can I replace Mikalenko with? You have Gabriel, 8 Nori starting, and Greaves on the bench. I was going to go Gomez, but I can't. I'd go Kirkes. He's the best of the cheap options to buy this week. Hudgerson's XG is impressive. Yeah, I think he's only played one game, and he did score from about 3 yards out from a corner. But yes, Hudgerson might be the one at 4.3 to go if you want a cheaper Bournemouth defender. If he starts again this weekend and looks good, then he might be the one that we all go to. Like, I might just do Mikalenko to him. Like, it might be the way to go and save the money. Thoughts on Visa and Mbermo to Isak and Semenyo? You like both those moves or just one? I mean, I do both because realistically, the Mbermo to Semenyo move unlocks the other one. So you can't, I imagine you can't do just Visa to Isak And the reason for doing those transfers is Alexander Isak. So, Dan, thank you for joining as a base tier member. Welcome to the channel. What's the best wildcard team this week? I can't, if I'm honest, I really haven't thought about it. I'd build a 15-man squad that has Salah and a Liverpool defender in it still. And I would probably have a look at Triple Arsenal, like a similar forward line to what people have got at the moment. 10,000 of you watching. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining and choosing my stream to watch. I appreciate all of you tuning in this morning. If you haven't already, if you are new to the channel, please do drop a subscribe on the channel and like the video if you haven't already. There are 8,000 of you who haven't liked the channel. We're trying to hit 150,000 subscribers at some point. You really think Lewis starts, Harry? I mean, he only played 15 midweek, so I would hope so, but it's not possible. That's Andy didn't stream, that's why. I don't know why. I know he had a Christmas party last night, so maybe that was why. Flecken or Fabianski? Flecken. What do I think about Dean? Will he play? I would probably say Maatsen does. I wouldn't buy Dean, but if you've got him, I would start him. Just woke up in the US, losing 3 of your players. Best to roll or any other... If the other transfers would stop future moves, then yeah, don't do them. Hopefully you've got cover on your bench. Thoughts on Mbeumo out and Matoma in? I mean, I don't mind Matoma as a Mbeumo replacement. He's probably the best one, to be honest. And he's cheap enough that you can probably afford other moves. It's just if you need to come down further from that, if you're going to do it. Who would I sell Konate for? Probably Kirkez. It depends if you've got money. If you can go a Timber, then I would do that. But if not... yeah, Kirkez and Timber, probably the top 2. Should I sell Salah by Bruno? Sell Salah by Bruno. Please don't sell Salah. Anyone watching this stream, please don't sell Salah. Yeah. I think a lot of power problems in Ireland is Andy's problem. With the storm. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. Just seeing if there's anything. Yeah, Andy was at a wedding last night. You have Pickford and Salah. Use the transfer on a goalkeeper. Yes, just keep Salah. And Burma, to which cheaper options you have, Rodgers. I don't mind a Wobie if you just take the sort of hit this week that he doesn't have a great fixture. If not, you go Semenyo, Ahmad, Enzo, or if you have money, you go Mitoma. Start Vandenberg, Lewis, or Colwill, and why? My benching ranking for defenders is in the top right-hand corner. Will be up in just a moment. I would start Lewis out of those. Highest chance of a clean sheet, I imagine. If you are looking for defenders, if you're looking for having a defender benching decision, look in the top right-hand corner now. It will be up for another 30 seconds. There are all the benching decisions that you're asking in the chat. Should be up in the top right hand for you now. Take a little look. Top left is good. Bottom right is bad. Captain Haaland. If I had Haaland, I probably would. He's probably, statistically, I would still put him below Palmer, but if I had Haaland, I probably would take the chance. This is a big opportunity for Haaland owners to gain back some points, and I probably would captain him. What's the sudden love with Mbeumo? I mean, my replacement for him is Rodgers, and I'm not certain Rodgers starts. Mbeumo is still on penalties. They are better at home. And the main reason for me to sell Brian Mbeumo is to get money to buy Trent, and I don't need to do that transfer this week. I was going to sell him, but the game week, of course, the game is not going to go ahead, so I will probably sell him this evening instead. Why don't I get Salah? Salah's game is cancelled. If I had on free transfer, would I transfer Wood for João Pedro? Yes. Palmer versus Big Six is not good. Should I give Bruno... Oh, not this Palmer Big Six agenda again. If you want to captain someone else because you don't think Palmer has a good record against the Big Six, then that's fine. He did score a hat-trick against Man United. He did score twice against Manchester City last year. He did haul against Spurs in the same fixture last year as well. But if you don't want Palmer for the captain, I understand it. I can look at Saka. I can look at Fernandes. I can look at Isak. A lot of these guys are good captaincy options, but I'm captaining Palmer. Is wildcard a good option? Probably not this week. It doesn't feel like a great week with no Liverpool to play a wildcard. Wood to Evan Nilsson. Yeah, I don't mind Evan Nilsson if you don't want to go João Pedro. He's the next best cheap option for me. Kluivert or Semenyo or stick with Kulusevski. I mean, I probably would just stick with Kulusevski this week. You need a fifth midfielder to replace McNeil for long term whenever needed. So Rodgers or Semenyo or Iwobi would probably be the one I would go with. But the issue is he has Arsenal at home this week and you might need them. So if I had to buy one of those two, I'd buy Rodgers over Semenyo. What am I going to do with Salah? I'm just going to keep him. And I'll have him back in my lineup for next week. There's no reason to be selling Salah. There's no reason to be selling Salah. I was about to say the only reason would be if you're wildcarding next week, but I still wouldn't sell Salah. Aït-Nouri or Lewis, they are in the benching ranking in the top right-hand corner, which will come round in just a moment. 3 premium defenders is what I'm trying to get to. And Mbeumo to Semenyo to fund Solanke to Isak. Yeah, I don't mind those couple of transfers. Yes. Veltman to Kerkez this week. Kerkez and Mbeumo out to Trent and Rodgers next week. Probably I wouldn't sell Veltman because once Veltman's back, he's still a good option, right? Who will I buy to replace Mbeumo tonight? Probably Rodgers. Probably Morgan Rodgers. Does Greaves start? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You don't have cover on the bench if Gabriel doesn't play. Should use one for your transfer or roll. If it's a transfer to upgrade your defence, which you genuinely think upgrades your defence, then yes, you can do it. But if it's a transfer you're doing just for the sake of bench cover for 1 week, then I wouldn't do it. If it's something like buying a Kerkez for the long term or doing Mikalenko to another cheaper defender, then yes, I would. But if it's for 1 week for bench cover, then I wouldn't do it. Flecken or Fabianski to Raya or roll. I wouldn't sell Fabianski. Fabianski's the best second goalkeeper in the game, so. Should I sub Maddison for Salah? Please don't sell Salah. Salah will not play this game week. It is a blank game week for Liverpool and Everton, but do not sell players. Do not sell Trent. Do not sell Van Dijk. Don't sell Gomez and don't sell Mo Salah. Everyone outside of that, if you wanted to sell a Gakpo, a Diaz, I probably wouldn't sell Robertson. Any of the defenders I wouldn't sell. Kelleher I would sell. So Robertson, Van Dijk, Trent, Gomez, Salah I wouldn't sell. Everton players are sellable because their fixtures coming up are rough. But yeah, we are into the final 10 minutes to go before the deadline. We'll be doing final rounds of quickfire questions. Should I start Mo just in case it gets rescheduled? Well, that's why I'm doing it. So, but I'm doing it for auto subs, really. We're into the final 10 minutes before the deadline. Make sure you go and check your teams. There will be a lot of people on the website, so I'd make sure you're locking stuff in a little bit earlier if you possibly can. And thank you for 11,000 of you tuning in and watching. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Thoughts on Ahmad versus Kluivert? I just am not confident on Ahmad's minutes yet. And Kluivert, although played 60-70, is on penalties. So I would still go Kluivert over Ahmad. When's it going to be rescheduled to? The prediction is either game week 19 or 25, but of course we don't know that yet. So it is likely to go much further into the new year. You need Konate replacements. Yeah, like Timber, Kirkes are my top two probably. Play Flecken or Fabianski. It's really close. It's so close that I probably would play Flecken, but would you just chance that Wolves are rubbish again? Flecken or Fabianski? I mean, Newcastle were great midweek, so maybe you just go Fabianski and hope that Wolves continue to be rubbish. Any chance, thought on Visa and Burma to Isak and Rodgers? Visa worth one more. Kind of depends how likely you are that think Rodgers gets minutes. If you think he does, then yeah, I would do those moves. Start on Burma or Rodgers. I'd probably play in Burma just because at least you know what you're going to get with him. Start Greaves or Boutfast. Probably Greaves. Kirkes or Ryan Aït-Nouri. Again, defensive benching rankings are in the top right-hand corner right now. I will just refresh it for you as well as it's gone to Captaincy. If you need that, it's in the top right-hand corner. Anyone looking to decide between two defenders, it is up in that top right-hand corner for you now. Transfer Trent? No. I don't even need it. Transfer in... Oh, you transferred in Trent for Lewis. Will I get -4 to swap back? No. Just leave it as it is. Like, Lewis is not even that great an option this week anyway. Mohammed, apologies. Any news on Welbeck? Any other expected matches to be postponed? No. There is a small risk to Aston Villa. They have done the tweet of travel safely and stuff like that, but it sounds like it's too close to the deadline for them to do it. So, sounds like no other games are at risk. Doesn't sound like anything else is at risk. 6 minutes to go until the deadline. Play Ahmad or Rodgers. If you've got Rodgers, you kind of have to play him, I think. Live FPL has Salah to drop. It's because basically the way that price prediction sites like that work is they take what's happened in like the last couple of hours and project that that's going to happen for the rest of the day. And the issue with that is, of course, after the deadline, transfers for Salah out will just stop. So I'm almost certain that Salah won't drop in price. But that's why the prediction sites have him to drop. Play Henderson or Fabianski this week. I'd play Fabianski. Why is Salah in my lineup? Just so I get auto sub points. Captain Watkins against very weak Southampton defence. Yeah, I don't mind Watkins captain at all. He should get chances against that Southampton team, absolutely. And he played less minutes midweek, so he's more likely to start. Wood to Jackson. Johnson to Semenyo for a hit. -8 Mikalenko to Bournemouth defender, or just do Johnson to Semenyo and leave it. I probably would just do Johnson to Semenyo and leave it. Is Wood to Jackson worth a hit? Probably not. Probably not. The servers are struggling. People in the chat are saying the servers are struggling. It doesn't look like it on my screen, but if you are looking at sites down, go and make your transfers, everyone. The app is freezing for people. People are saying the site is crashing for them. 5 minutes go to the deadline. Mine is fine, but some people are saying that it's bad. So, website just froze for you. Okay, well, it seems fine for me, but I would go and you don't need to wait 4 minutes. Make sure your team is locked in. Like, just go and look at your teams now. I'll still do a few questions, but we'll put the defender benching ranking up in the top right-hand corner now. So if you need it, it is there for you. go and lock in your teams now, because there is likely to be a lot of people on the website in the final few minutes because of a postponement. We hoped that it would be far enough in advance that this wouldn't happen, but it looks like it is. So please go and check your lineups. If you are new and you are heading off, please do make sure you're subscribed for a reminder when we do upload and go live every week. Those of you with benching options, again, it is in the top right-hand corner for you. There you go. Check that out. Start Sanchez or Fabianski? I would go Fabianski. Any chance for an Ipswich win? Yeah, it's possible. Do I think getting in Iwobi from Burmo? I mean, I wouldn't bother with Iwobi in for Burmo this week, given Iwobi has Arsenal at home. I would just keep Burmo this week. Why don't I think Rodgers will start? I think he probably will, but I don't think it's guaranteed, because they do have a Champions League game midweek, which they have to win. And it is Southampton. We've seen Chelsea beat them with a rotated team. The site is still up for me. Some of you in the chat saying it's not working for you. So go and... Some of you saying the app's not working. Rohan, I did reply it. I would play Fabianski. Starts to Semenyo, Matoma, Rashford. I'd bench Semenyo. Rashford should come back into the lineup. Pick 2. Yep. I'm 100% sure on Palmer captain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my team is locked in. Some people are saying the app is down. Mine seems to be okay at the moment, but... And Burmo to Semenyo or keep... yeah, I just keep one more week. Ahmad or Enzo? Probably Ahmad. I just don't love the Enzo pick until we see it more consistently. And Burmo and Wood to Isak and Ahmad, or Pedro and 8.5 million middle below. I mean, I probably would go Isak and Ahmad. Isak feels like a bigger upgrade. If you don't own João Pedro, actually, I probably would go there. Timber versus Gabriel for the long term. Gabriel, if he's fit, if he's available. Site struggling, but you just managed to save your team. Why Palmer over Saka? Why Palmer over Saka? I just like the fixture and the matchup more. It often has goals in. We are 500 likes away from 3,000, and there are 12,000 of you in and watching. If you haven't liked the stream, can we hit 3,000? I think that might be a record. Predict the Chelsea defence. Cucurella, Gusto, Colwill, Badiashile. I'm not making any transfers. This is how my team is going to look for the weekend. Do I get any extra points for auto subs? No. I'll just get Semenyo and Lewis off my bench. I will just get Semenyo and Lewis off my bench. Will Konza start? He is predicted to, yes. Yep. Raul to Pedro. Yes, that is a transfer I would do. Sell Salah for Saka. Do not sell Salah. It's Liverpool's likely to be rearranged in January or February. Bench... Sells or Fabianski, probably Fabianski. Raul to Strand Larsen. I probably wouldn't go and buy Wolves attackers now. We are into the final minute of the deadline. By the time you hear this, there probably won't be time for me to answer any more questions. So this is your reminder, with 1 minute to go and lock in your teams. Make any final transfers. Decide on your captains, your benchings. Check your lineup. Take the screenshot that you need. That is going to be the deadline. Apparently it is... almost, the website is slowly getting there, but it seems to be working all right for me. But that is the final minute of the deadline. Go and check your teams. If you are heading off, thank you all very much for joining. If you could drop a like and a subscribe before you go, that would be fantastic. I appreciate all of the support this morning. It feels, I love your content. It feels really different and refreshing. I appreciate it. Just saw a pigeon fly away. Yep. We can do some pigeon talk. We can do pigeon talk. 3K likes. Thank you all very much. that is that. The game is officially updating. That is my team for the weekend. We will get Semenyo for Salah and we will get Mikalenko out for Rico Lewis. Have anyone of you seen a pigeon today? That is a good one. Thanks, Harry. Your FPL go to. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That is the deadline. It's really weird that the deadline has just passed and there is no football for 4 hours. There's no football for ages now. So we don't really have to hang around. If you want to transfer your membership to a new channel, you just have to cancel it and re-sign up. There's not much we can do. Yes. So no lineups for anything. So I probably am going to wrap up the stream. I am needed. We've got people here. So I'm probably going to wrap up the stream. We can do Fantasy Challenge very quickly. Yep, before we end the stream. Players costing over 9 million are worth double. So I can't pick. I mean, how much do I have? I've got... Hang on. I've got 100 million. So I just pick all the most expensive players, right? Does that include Watkins? No, presumably not. Is that all of them? Are there any more midfielders? It's only really Foden and he's not available. So, alright, well. Right. Who else do we want? We're definitely having Watkins. Any other midfielders that we like? Yeah, Bowen will have that. If you want the league code for any of it, there is the league code for Fantasy Challenge is in the description. There is also the league code for the main game as well, to make sure you're in that once the game updates. If you beat me in that league, I will donate money to charity for every single person who beats me. So if you're not in it yet, he's not. It doesn't come up. Like, he can be in the scout team, but he just won't score double. Who else have we got here? Who else are we going to buy? I mean, I fancy... Yeah, let's go Luka Dean and hope he starts. And then in goal, we're probably going to go with Martinez. 6 million left over. Captain Haaland, of course. That is how we're going to be lining up. We're going to go with that. If Luka Dean doesn't start, I'll probably sub Matt for Maatsen. Or I might forget. Right. That is going to be all for the stream. Thank you all very much for joining. There's still 5,000 of you in, so I do appreciate it. The videos will be back on Sunday evening and all through the week as well. We now have a normal week of FPL, which is quite nice. So things will be back as normal. Transfer plans on Sunday, transfer targets on Wednesday, team selection on Thursday, final decisions on Friday, and the deadline then after. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your morning with no football to watch if you are just a Premier League fan like me. Have a lovely one. Good luck. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks, everyone.